क्या रखी
List the rest students. Attendance. Sit. Why are you standing? Okay, Shruti. You are Shruti, Raghav, and September. So, our first class, how is offline? How are offline classes going for you? How are you finding? Enjoying? Liking this or like you liked online more? Offline is better? 2 years of online became too much. No? Initially, I think you all enjoyed, but then later, and plus you all have your 10th, so it's high time. Why are you so serious? Okay, I'll introduce myself, then you all can say something about yourselves. My name is Rakhi. Stay in Kharghar, and where teaching is concerned, I have been teaching since 2005. Prior to that, I used to work with the multinational. I used to work with Icse. After that, I have done my post-graduation and my B.Ed as well, and one course from British Council. Okay, that's the Cambridge University. And tell me, now you all can say something about yourselves. Maybe you could tell your name and your school or whatever.
I'm Shruti Singh and I'm from Latitudes.
From?
Latitudes.
Okay.
I'm Raghav from Ryan and school here. And I live in Washington.
I used to teach at Ryan Kharghar.
I'm from St. Mary's ICSC school.
Okay.
I live in Topographic.
Oh. So coming from Topographic, you don't join the Topographic branch, right? And did you choose not to? Okay, we will start with our first chapter. That's interpretation of topographical maps. There's the this book. Even if you don't, it's okay. It has the same details, the first chapter. Few changes are compared to last class. Okay. So first is maps and their significance. Maps and the importance of maps. First, the Earth is a huge planet with varied relief features like mountains, valleys, rivers, lakes, seas, and oceans. So what are relief features? What are relief features? The landforms, the structural landforms that we have on the Earth. What are they? What are they? You see, it's given in the book. What are they? Hmm?
Rivers.
Okay, he was assisting. Okay. So it would more or less be the same thing. You could even listen to even the reading now. Okay. So what do relief features include? Oceans, mountains, plateaus, plains, rivers, lakes, all these are
Valleys.
valleys, all these are relief features. Now, due to its enormous size and spherical shape, the shape of the earth is a sphere, and due to its enormous size and spherical shape, it is not possible to view the entire earth at the same time. Can you? Even if you look at a globe, you will be able to look at it from one side. The other side in its entirety, you cannot look at it at the same time. Consequently, it is not possible to represent the whole earth on a flat surface. Can you show the entire earth on a flat surface? Yes, you can show the entire world map, right? But then in that you won't be able to show specific details. Correct? For that you need maps which are topographical maps. We'll get into details now. So, this difficulty has been resolved by using various models of the earth like globes and maps. A globe is a three-dimensional representation of the earth. What is a globe? What is a globe? It is a 3D representation of the earth. It is the only true representation of the earth, indicating the shape, direction, area and other features. However, a globe has certain limitations. What does a globe have? Certain problems, certain limitations. What are they? Due to its limited space, it cannot represent physical features, correct? Such as in more detail. Okay, like if you want to show a small mountain, how are you going to show it on the globe? You'll need a map for that. Further, topographic details cannot be shown. Topographic details means? Yeah, again, relief features like mountains and all, it becomes difficult to show on a globe. Therefore, to represent three-dimensional features like mountains, valleys, rivers, and other geographical phenomena, special techniques are used for these features to be shown on a uniform basis. Uniform basis means they use some kind of signs and symbols, so it becomes standardized. The art and science of mapping is known as cartography. What is cartography? The art and science of mapping. And those who are doing it are known as cartographers. You have the same things here, right? Cadastral map. We'll come to this. You? Grid reference, we'll talk about that. Identification platforms and all that. I'll come to grid reference now. Okay. This is just the intro part. You want me to do from that book, right? Again, we are going to Okay, so a map is defined as a representation of the Earth's surface or part of it showing natural or man-made features drawn to scale on a flat surface. What is a map? Drawn on a flat surface. There are certain keywords here. It is a representation of Earth's surface or natural or man-made features. Natural are what? These relief features that we spoke about. You all can take down notes while I'm doing this because it's different there. So you all could just write down the important points. Drawn to scale on a flat surface. Okay. What was this? The definition of a map. Representation of the Earth's surface or a part of it, the entire Earth or a part of it, because you can have the world map also, so that's the entire Earth, or part of it, showing natural or man-made features, showing natural or man-made. Natural, by natural we would mean the relief features. And what would we mean by man-made features? Buildings, temples, canals, railway tracks or highways, state highways, boundaries, all those are a part of the man-made features. Drawn to scale. What do we mean by drawn to scale?
It's like 1 centimeter on the map is 1 kilometer on the.
Correct. It will show the comparison of what the measurement is on the distance is on the Earth as compared to what it is in the map. Like you might have this is 1 centimeter over here, but in reality it is say 50,000 kilometers in real. So how would that be? 1:50,000. So that would be the scale. Okay. So we are saying drawn to scale on a flat surface. A map is on a flat surface. Okay. So what is it? A map is a representation of the Earth's surface or showing drawn on a flat surface. Okay. So whenever you are learning, just learn it as per the keywords. It will make things easier to remember. So here there are how many points? 5 points here. And your definition is done. What is a map? Like say it comes for as a 2-mark question. You write all this, you will get your 2 marks. There's no way that you can lose any marks there. So, this description of the Earth's surface helps us to understand various types of phenomena such as soil, climate, vegetation, rivers, mountains, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, as well as their relationships. What is a relationship between what is the relationship between climate, vegetation, animals, at least these 3. What is the interrelation?
So proper vegetation, you need proper climate and proper.
No, it's not that for proper vegetation you need proper climate and animals. I don't know what you meant to say. It's not that.
Animals need food, so.
No. What is the interrelation?
Different climate have different vegetation.
Yeah, on the same lines, where different climate will have different vegetations. And based on the climate and the vegetation in that area, you would have the animals. They would be adapted in that way. Like for example, climate. If we talk about a place in the Arctic or any place that is cold and there is snowfall, Vegetation means what? Are you clear with that concept? What is vegetation? The trees which are growing naturally in a particular area is vegetation, like the forest. Something that we have cut and we have constructed, like if we're doing farming there, that's not natural vegetation. Or if there's a garden made, that's not natural vegetation. Okay, what is naturally growing? So if we have a place where there is snow, what kind of vegetation would be found over there? The place has snowfall. What kind of vegetation will you find?
Pine.
Yeah, pine trees. So those are coniferous trees. See, if you remember like this, it will make your learning and your studying easier. It's all based on this, logical. Okay? You will have coniferous trees. Why will you have coniferous? Coniferous means cone shaped, like a Christmas tree. Why would you have coniferous trees? Because the snow needs to slide down. So the trees would be adapted in that way. Okay? They would have cones, like pine cones. You spoke about pine. So pine cones. What about animals in that area where it's cold?
Polar bears.
So what are those? They would have
Fur.
thick furs, or penguins would have a layer of fat beneath to keep them warm. So they would have thick fur, or they would have a layer of thick layer of fat or thick skin to keep them warm. So this is the interrelationship, okay, between the natural phenomena. Like if you have a desert, for example, what kind of trees do you find in the desert? You will find cacti. Cactus. Why cactus grows there? Because it cannot get water. So the plants will adapt themselves in a way that they can survive even with less water. Or there would be trees like the baobab tree. That's a tree which stores a lot of water in its trunk. This is in places where there is less water, like Rajasthan and all. Okay, so the vegetation would be that way in a desert. Animals, you'll have the camel. Like the camel, where it can adapt, it has beneath its feet, it has some layer-like thing because it can walk in the desert in the hot sand, or it stores water, or even its eyelids, right? Dust cannot come. So it is adapted in such a way. So that's what we mean by interrelationship. Okay. Now, elements of a map. What are the things that are required mandatorily in a map? Can you think of a few?
Location.
What?
Location.
I didn't hear you.
Location.
Location, okay. So here,
Symbols. Symbols.
symbols, yes, symbols,
Grid lines.
grid lines. Okay, I'll write them for you. See, you can note it down in your books. Okay, that's you can put the heading of elements of a map.
Scale.
Yes. Okay, elements of a map. First is title. Second is scale. Third is direction. Fourth is grid system. Fifth is conventional symbols. and 6 is key or legend. So what are they? Title, scale, direction, grid system, conventional signs, key or legend. Do you all know any of these? Which ones are you familiar with? Direction. What direction?
East, west, north.
Okay. You?
East, west, north.
Okay. You?
Scale, direction, grid system.
Conventional science.
Others also you all would be aware of, but you all don't know the term for it properly. That's why. Otherwise you all would know. Title is what? Now when I'm teaching, I wrote the title, the heading of the map. So there are various kinds of maps. You'll see it in your book also. You all would have where you would have one map of rivers, one map showing you the climate, one map showing you the population, rainfall. What is that map about?
Rainfall of this particular place.
No, it wouldn't be of this particular place. It would be headed as rainfall. And you would have the map. Okay. So that's the title. Scale we spoke about, where the distance on the actual distance compared to the distance on the map that we did 1 is to 50,000. Okay, that's the ratio. Direction, as you all said, north, south, east, west. But every map will have the north direction mark. If you would have noticed, it will always have this kind of an arrow. You might have north written on it or not. But if you see an arrow like this, you have to understand that this points to the north. When you know the north, you will know the other directions as well. Correct? Grid system. What is the grid system? Eastings and the Northings. We'll do this further now. Conventional signs. Symbols. They might ask you to find out where this particular temple is. So temple has a particular symbol. A church will have a particular symbol. Highways, boundaries will have another. It would be there in your book as well. Those are conventional signs. So all these are the elements of a map. They are required in a map. Next is key or legend. What is key? You'll know when.
There is a box or
yes, correct. That box is very important. Like now, for example, if you're asked to mark places where rice grows, okay, you might think of this symbol for rice. Okay, you'll do this in that place wherever rice is growing. Okay, it would be mostly somewhere in the coastal area. Rice needs a lot of water. Okay, then you might be asked to mark a place where cotton is growing. So you maybe do this. Okay, cotton. But if you don't make the key, what sense is it going to make? You won't get marks, you will get a 0 because it makes no sense. So you need a key where you will have a box, you will do this and you will write rice. You will have another box, you will do this and you will write over there cotton. You might even use colors. You might have to show the Thar desert. Okay, how will you do it? You might mark it and you might color it. The Thar desert you will color brown, and in maps you cannot make arrows like you can do in a diagram. In a science diagram you could do that. But in maps you cannot do this and mark an arrow and say rice, or mark an arrow and say cotton. You cannot do this. So you have to make the key. Imagine, because in your map work you all would have, it would carry say 10 marks. There are 10 things. So how many lines are you going to draw? That's not done. So that's why you need the key. So now for the color thing, the desert that we spoke about, then you'll have to make this, use the same color that you used over there. Okay? Color or design or pattern, whatever. You have used stripes or squares, whatever. And then you write over there desert or Thar desert or whatever. Got it? So this is the key. So understood all the points clearly?
Yeah.
First is title, scale, direction, where it points to the north. Like how you have a magnetic compass, it will always point to the north. You have to identify the other directions. Grid system, conventional signs, and key or legend. That same key is also known as legend. Now types of maps. What are the types? Correct. So in that, under that, first you have large scale maps and you have small scale maps. First, large scale and small scale. Large scale and small scale. Okay. Then under large scale you have topographical maps and then you have cadastral maps. These are the two types. One you have topographical and the second you have is cadastral. In your 10th you all have topo maps. Cadastral you all don't have much to do with, but you all should know about what it is. And under small scale you have two, that is wall maps and atlas. Atlas you all are well aware of. You have an atlas book. And wall maps are those maps which we use on the hang and those are the small ones. And you have large scale topographical maps. Now topo maps. Okay, first we are talking about topographical maps. These maps are prepared after a careful and accurate survey of the area. In India, they are prepared by the Survey of India. Okay, you all can write down the points. They are prepared by the Survey of India, SURVEY. Survey of India. Okay, they are drawn to scale on scales of 1:50,000 and 1:25,000. Scale of 1:50,000 and 1:25,000. Scale, you all understood, no? 1 unit here on the map is 25,000 units or kilometers in real. Okay, the map distance is to the actual ground distance. These maps are multi-purpose and they show natural features and man-made features. So they show natural and man-made features both. These maps are very useful for planning, defense, tourism, etc. Details you will study in the further chapters. Now, what are cadastral? What are cadastral maps? Do you all know what are cadastral maps? Cadastral maps provide complete details of an area, such as boundaries of properties and individual building. Like here, this won't have buildings. This will have natural vegetation, man-made features, settlements, temples, and all that. This would have, like, if for taxation, if you want to know what is the property owned, what is the ownership of land, so those boundaries, that would be shown in a cadastral map. Okay, boundaries of properties and individual buildings. Here you would have boundaries of properties and individual buildings. Okay, boundaries of properties and individual buildings. Okay, then under small scale you have wall maps and the atlas. Now, wall maps, these are meant to represent large areas that could be viewed as at a glance. They show features like railways, roads, physical, political, relief, temperature, population, industries, vegetation, etc. They are used for display in classrooms and in museums. You all must have seen the world map and all that. So that is the wall map that we use. Then you have the atlas. These maps are drawn. So what did you all write for wall maps? To represent large areas that could be viewed at a glance. To represent large areas that could be viewed at a glance. Like you would have the world map or the map of India, you can see the entire area in one go. Okay, that's the world map. Then you have the atlas. These maps are drawn on a smaller scale and are used to represent a whole country on a single sheet. Smaller scale, whole country on a single sheet. So atlas, smaller scale and whole country on a single sheet, right? Atlas is on paper, it's in your book. Right? Again, in atlas you will have the thematic type of maps. Thematic means, what did we do? Thematic, it shows you the theme, like rainfall, population, rivers. You would have it in your book also. See, behind somewhere it would be there. See here, go to chapter 2, Maps of India. See, page 68. So there, see, you can see mountains and plateaus. The next one is, okay, 68, 68. Chapter 2. That is different.
Yeah.
This is different from this.
Yeah.
Why like that?
Different schools.
Okay, next time you look up this. Next time you use this. Huh? No, but then what will happen, because you both have, say you two have one, she has another, so that will, cause chaos. So if this is the standard that we follow, so we use the YouTube. Okay? So you would have it on another, probably another chapter, another. Show me. I see you have map reading and interpretation. See here you are. This is, see here, map of India, chapter 5. See over there, how you can see the theme on the top. What is the first one? Huh?
Mountains,
Next page.
desert.
Correct. So that is thematic. Okay. So it shows you, that's the title that you can see. Okay, you have rivers and water bodies. You have India passes. So in rivers and water bodies, only rivers will be shown, and water bodies like maybe some lake would be shown, or the sea. Okay, you saw it there. So see here, rivers and water bodies. So the theme would be given. Okay, so that is atlas. Okay, got it. Now is topographic or ordnance survey maps. Now we speak about, what do we speak about? Ordnance survey maps. So we talk about how it got the name ordnance. From where did the word ordnance come from? Topographic or ordnance. Okay, it is ordnance, not ordinance. Okay, ordnance survey maps. So how do we get the word topography? The word topography is got from two Greek words. Topos means a place and grapho means to show or to depict. Okay, topography. So thus a topographical map shows the survey of the earth in detail. So the topo sheet is also known as topographical survey sheet. Okay, so if you hear that name anywhere, don't get confused. It's the same as your topo sheet, okay, or topographical sheet. Now, topographical maps are also known as ordnance survey maps. Write it down. Ordnance survey maps. Okay, with correct spellings. Ordnance. These were originally drawn in Britain. Originally drawn in Britain. That's where it started, in Britain. For the army, under the direction of the Surveyor General. It was used for the army. Okay. These maps are prepared in every country. In India, ordnance maps are published by Survey of India, Dehradun. They are published by, in India, Survey of India, which is at Dehradun. Okay, and all topo maps show two features. What are the two features? Huh? Natural and man-made. Simple. It shows two features. Natural and man-made. So the relief features are natural and man-made features are the others like railways, canals, buildings, civilizations, etc. Okay. Now we talk about what? Grid reference. Written this down, no? So what is a grid? So you all are aware of latitudes and longitudes. What are latitudes?
It's the horizontal.
They are both imaginary lines. Latitudes are horizontal lines running from east to west or west to east, and longitudes are, which is the largest latitude?
It's the
Equator. What degrees? 0. Which are the other important parallels of latitude? Just to refresh what you've done earlier. And
North Pole.
above Tropic of Cancer and below the North Pole. Okay, Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn are at how much degrees?
23.5.
North and 23.5 south. North is Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, and south is southern hemisphere. You are the Tropic of Capricorn. Which is the one that you all forgot? From A it starts. A. What happened? A. C. So Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. That's at how many degrees? 66.5 degrees north, and Antarctic is 66.5 degrees south. And then you have the North Pole and the South Pole. North Pole, South Pole, how many degrees? 90 degrees. 90 degrees north and 90 degrees south. They are just points. Okay. Now a grid is what? Nothing but a network of latitudes and longitudes. Okay, so it is used to help us to identify the location of a place, to give us the exact location of a place. And it always starts from the bottom left hand side. Okay, any grid will start from the bottom left hand side, or north, south, east, west. In terms of cardinal directions, which direction is this? Between south and west. Southwest. So they always start from the southwest direction or from the bottom left hand side. Like the numbers, the counting of the numbers will start from here and proceed, and from here and it will proceed. Okay, like for example, if you have your numbers say 23, then this will be 24, 25, 26, and here it would be say 32, anything, okay, meaning the others are below this. So 32, 33, 34, 35, okay. So which means it's going this way and it's going this way in the north. Got it? Now these lines going from east to west, these are known as the Eastings. And these lines are known as the northings. Okay, so you have the Eastings and the Northings. So, and don't get confused with which is the Easting and which is the Northing. Just remember that Eastings are Eastings because they are going towards the east. They are moving from east to west. They are moving from west to east or east to west in this direction. And Northings are, they are moving in this direction. We'd rather rub this. Okay, so it's going in this direction. From the west to the east. Correct? They're going in the east. And these ones are going to the north. Okay, they're going in the northern direction. So that's why they're known as northing. Eastings are going in the east direction or the eastern direction. That's why they are known as the Eastings. Now, how do you identify the location of a place?
Easting on vertical, right?
Eastings are the horizontal lines. See, you're getting confused. Eastings are the horizontal lines. Because they are going in the east. Which lines are going in the east? This is the west. This is the east. This is going in the east, 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 east. Correct? It's going in the eastern direction. It's known as the northing, easting. Which line is going in the northern direction? Those are known as the northings. Okay, so these are going in the northward direction. So they are known as the northings. Okay, now how will you identify the location of a place? See, if you have one temple which is over here. Okay, you have a temple over here. How will you identify? So you will first, Yes, 25, 33. How will you measure? First you will take the Eastings. Whenever you measure, first you will write the Eastings and then you will write the Northings. Now, 25, 33. Now this also lies before 26. No, it lies between 25 and 26. So what if you say 26 and 34? 25 and 33 we said, correct? How will we write it down? 25, 33, like this we'll write. Okay, in a continuous series where these are the Eastings, these are the Northings. Now, I'm asking you, what if you write 26 and 34 because this is before 26 and this is before 34 also. 26, 34. Will this be correct? It's in the same box, no? It's in the same grid. One grid means this. One box is one grid. So we have been asked to identify the grid. So it's within that grid also.
And it will be wrong because it is starting from the southwest.
Yeah, we started from here. Okay, and now this second one that we said, 26, 34, that will be wrong. This will be correct. Okay, whenever we measure, we will see it. What is beyond? Like I said, we are counting from the west. No, we are going in the eastern direction. So you will see what is coming after the easting and above the northing. Okay. ईस्ट के आगे नॉर्थ के ऊपर ईस्टिंग के आगे कौन सा है दिस वन इफ इट इज हियर इट्स बिफोर करेक्ट सो ईस्टिंग के आगे एंड नॉर्थिंग के ऊपर सो व्हिच इज द नॉर्थिंग व्हिच इज बिलो दिस दैट इज 33 right it is forming an intersection over here 33 is the one and here you have this 25, so it would be over here. Got it? I just read what it is, what's mentioned here. A grid is a set of lines used to find the exact location of places on a map. On an ordinary map or a globe prepared on a small scale, one can easily find out the position of a town with the help of a grid formed by latitude and longitude lines. Topo maps are, however, large-scale maps, so exact locations cannot be expressed accurately by the grid of latitudes and longitudes. To overcome this, a grid reference system is used, comprising of a square grid. Okay, so square lines are made and which are intersecting each other at what angles? 90 degrees. What type of angle is that? Right angle. They're intersecting at right angles and numbered sequentially from the origin at the bottom left of the map. Which is the bottom? This. Which is the left? This. So they are numbered sequentially, means in order from the bottom left hand side of the map. It indicates the location of a place in terms of a series of vertical and horizontal lines identified by numbers or letters. The points at which the vertical and horizontal lines of the grid cross are called coordinates. What are they called? Coordinates. What are coordinates? Nothing but the points of intersection. It is the geographical term which is given. That's known as coordinates. These lines are numbered. The vertical lines that increase in value eastwards are known as eastings. Lines which go eastwards. Got it now? No confusion. It's going eastwards. कहाँ जा रहा है वो? Which direction? East. So it is known as eastings. Where is this going in which direction? North. So it is known as a northing. Okay? Then, these eastings and northings cut across each other to form squares or a grid. So, one grid means one box. Okay? The origin of the grid system is in the southwest corner of the map. What we said is the bottom left hand side is the same as southwest corner of the map. These lines are the basis of reference to landmarks and places shown on the map. Whenever grid references are given, the eastings are given first and then the northing. So when we wrote this, why didn't we write it as, if we would have written this as 3325, again that would be wrong. First we have to write the easting and then we have to write the northing. If we do it the other way around, it's wrong.
But in that diagram, the Eastings is the 33.
What?
In the diagram, the Eastings is 33.
So easting.
So,
33, correct. It would be right. We have to write the easting first. So 33 and
20.
what? Notice that 25. Okay. So this is how we are going to do it. First we'll write the easting, then we'll write the northing. There are two types of grid references, 4-figure grid reference and 6-figure. This we'll take up in the next class. It would be too much of saturation for now. Now just go through whatever we have just done. And if you have any doubts, I'll come round, you can clear them. And next time we'll use the book. So as for this, we have covered this part. No? theoretically starts with. This is the next chapter, 49. So it's like you have a different one, I have one, and he has. We have the same. But it's okay to standardize things. That's why we have the PUP books for these plans. You learn at school, you said? Brian, you're using this. Same, huh? Morning Star, what is this?
That
was
was
a morning star. You also do see elements of a map, ordnance maps, grid reference. Facts from Southwest, what you wrote? Acha, the numbering of it. You can use the same as what I have. Significance. You don't have that entire info. Or that you don't have the elements of the map, you don't have this. That it is all the tribal scale, E direction, grid. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is E or letters are not there. E is there, signs and symbols are there. Large scale maps, cadastral, small scale maps, address, wall map. What is political, physical, thematic, topographical or ordnance interpretation. So it's like inherent, but it's not exactly the same. So the same, this is the order of the 60. Right. Scale is there and this RF. No. Scale is not there. These all come up from the sounds like. So we have to learn more. This is the next chapter. Okay, go through. Tell me if you have any kind of confusion. You have another class? History.
Yes.
Okay, go through once everything that we have done. Okay, and before our next class, again just refresh it and try reading further on. So when we are doing it, you would already be familiar with it, you will understand it better. Bye. Bye.
नहीं टोटल भी हो उसका आपको